Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I got the Summer Walker inspired look. The makeup artist that created this look on Summer Walker is Naoma. I'm going to go ahead and put all of her information down below in the description box. Make sure you guys give her a follow. She's such a sweet person and her work is amazing. So let's go ahead and jump into this tutorial. I'm going to start off by priming my eyes using the Bperfect eyeshadow eye priming base as well as my Makeup Revolution concealer in number 12. Next, I'm going to go into shadows. I'm going to be using the Ace Beauty Oceanic palette and taking these two darker blue colors from the palette. I'm going to start applying those onto the crease using my Morphe M507. I'm going to be doing more of like a winged cut crease today, so I'm just going to make sure to move the colors in that direction. Then to blend that out, I'm going to go in with the Bperfect Carnival XL Pro palette in collaboration with Stacey Marie, and I'm going to be taking one of the blue shades from that palette and start up using that to blend out our first shadow using a Morphe M506. Before I go into my third transition shade, I always love to go in with some translucent powder and set the brow bone area so I get the smoothest blend for my next shadow. So I'm using the Fenty Beauty blotting powder along with a fluffier blending brush, and I'm just going to pat that onto the brow bone. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Soft Spot from the same Carnival XL Pro palette and start using that to blend out my second transition color. And again, I'm just going in with a clean Morphe M506. Before I go into cutting my crease, I want to make sure that my lid space is all clean and there's no shadow, so the eyeshadow base that I use isn't like blending in and creating like all wonky colors and stuff. So I'm going to go in with a makeup wipe and just clean that area up real quick and carve out the shape of my cut crease. I'm going to go back in with that same Bperfect and Makeup Revolution concealer and start carving out my cut crease at this point. And I'm pretty much just going to follow the shape that I created using that makeup wipe. When I'm cutting my crease, I really like to take my time with it because I want my cut crease to be super sharp. I also find that tapping the product in versus dragging it makes for a much cleaner, like crisper line. It also makes it 10 times easier to fix any mistakes that I make as I'm cutting my crease. So once I have my cut crease down, I'm going to go in with the Ofra Fixline gel liner, and this is like in a really cute baby blue color. This is also going to act as my base for my blue eyeshadow. So I'm pretty much just going to apply that right over the eyeshadow primer that I applied before. I probably could have just cut my crease with this, but I wasn't really sure about like the formula and stuff and how it would apply because it is a gel liner. So I figured let me just go ahead and cut my crease first using my eyeshadow base and then apply this right after. I can just use a really small amount, which is what I did, so that way nothing gets like messed up along the way. I'm then going to go in with a mixture of Why Though and Soft Spot from the Carnival Pro palette, and I'm going to apply this all over the lid to kind of set the gel liner that we applied. Then from there, I'm going to add my liner. I'm going to be using the Melt Cosmetics Ultra Matte Gel Liner in the shade Immortal. It's just your basic like black eyeliner. I'm going to create a pretty thick wing, and same as the cut crease, I'm more so going to use tapping motions to apply my liner versus trying to drag it all the way through, so that way I get a really clean, crisp line. I'm going to add a couple of coats of mascara now. I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin Expert Mascara, and this is just going to prep my lashes for the falsies that we're going to apply next. Then for lashes, I'm going in with my CrvstalLashes in collaboration with Zackary Vang. These are in the style 515, and I'm gonna pop those on using some tweezers, and I use my Ardell brush on lash adhesive. I'm going to pause with the eyes for now and move on to skin. I'm first going to do some prepping using the Farsali Skin Tune Blur. I'm going to add a few drops of that onto the forehead and the cheeks and just blend it in using my fingers. Then for foundation, I'm using a mixture of 319 and 321. This is the Beauty Bakerie Instabake Aqua Glass Foundation, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply that using my Juno & Co. Velvet Sponge. I'm then going to go in with some concealer. I'm using CoverGirl's True Blend Concealer. So this concealer dries pretty fast, so I'm going to work in sections. I'm going to apply this onto like one under eye first, blend it out, and then move on to the other under eye, blend it out, and so on. So that way the concealer isn't like sitting for too long and then it gets stuck and then it's like difficult to blend and everything like that. This way I just get a really smooth blend the first time and there's no like, you know, patchiness anywhere. Then to set, I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. I'm using shade number 25, and I'm going to pat that on using a brush and just make sure to use really soft pressure so I'm not moving that concealer around. To set the rest of the face, I'm going to use the Maybelline Superstay Powder Foundation in Coconut. I'm only going to use a little bit of this powder because I didn't want the face to be like too full coverage, like maybe like more like medium coverage. So I'm going to make sure to use a softer hand as well as a very small amount of product. Then to bronze, I'm going to be going in with the Coffee and Cocoa palette. I'm using a mixture of the two bronzing shades on the left-hand side of the palette, and I'm going to apply that onto all the areas where I want some added warmth. So the forehead, like the hairline, the cheekbones, and a little bit on the nose. I've been really loving blush as well lately, so I'm going to go into the Beauty Bakerie Scoops Alizé palette as well and use the two like peachy color and pinky color from this palette. I forgot what the names are, but I'm going to use a mixture of those two shades and apply those onto the cheeks. And usually with blush, I like to use a little bit of a heavier hand because by the time I'm done with this makeup look, half the blush is like already gone and you can't even see it anymore. It fades really, really quickly. So this is like one of the few things that you can use a little bit of a heavier hand with. Then next, I'm going to highlight. I'm using the MAC Star Dip to Face palette in medium deep and taking those two highlighting shades, Snow Flushed and Oh Darling. I'm going to use a mixture of those two and highlight all the high points of the face, so the cheekbones, the nose, as well as the Cupid's bow and a little bit on the chin. And now that I'm done with the skin, I'm going to go back to the eyes and start smoking out that lower lash line. So I'm first going to go back in with that shade Soft Spot and use a flat shader brush to press that into the lash line first. Then I'm going to go into that shade Y though and use a Morphe M506 to give that first shade a little bit of a blend. Then next, I'm going to go back in with that Ofra gel liner and apply that onto the waterline as well. You guys already know, before I go in with my lower lash mascara, I love to use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer. It just makes my lower lashes look so much fuller and my mascara go on a lot better. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that next. While that's drying, I'm gonna apply my inner corner highlight. I'm using 2 shades from the Violet Voss I Do Not Care palette, and I'm just gonna press that onto the inner corner to brighten up the eyes. By the time I'm done with that, my primer should be all the way dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my mascara right after. Then for brows, I'm going to fill them in using the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade in the shade Ebony. You guys know this is my ride or die. I love this stuff when I'm doing a sculpted brow, a fluffier brow, any type of brow style. I love using this pomade. So I'm going to go ahead and do more of like a fluffier type of brow today, just to kind of keep the focus on the eyes. And yeah, I'm just going to create some like faux brow hairs using my angled brush and fill in any sparser areas. Then to set the brow hairs, I'm going to use my Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Next, we are going to line the lips. I'm using the JCat Beauty Holy Addiction Lip Liner in the shade Deep Brown. Then to fill in the lips, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick. This is from the Les Chocolat collection, and it's in the shade Dose of Cocoa. I'm going to apply it using the applicator and just give it a good blend into that lip liner using a brush. And then for gloss, I'm going to be using MAC's Lip Gloss in the shade Oyster Girl. Then finally, to set the look, I'm going to use the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray and just make sure to dry it all the way down using my fan. And that pretty much completes this look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this makeup tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more and click that little bell to get a notification anytime that I upload. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.